Hello and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
Hello. Exeter City 2-2 against Stevenage. Performance that at times was weaker than a continental cup of tea.
Are they weak?
So weak.
Right. Oh, yeah, of course, compared to the old English way of doing it.
Yeah, compared to the strong, stable English approach to tea making.
They say that a cup of tea should be the same colour as He-Man's face.
Yeah. I take it further. I think it should be the colour of my own face. It should be everyone. So if you're a pale person, you can enjoy a weak cup of tea. If you're
Yeah, but what if you're a pale person and you want a strong cup of tea? No.
it don't make any sense. It's stupid.
Let's go with He-Man.
Oh.
And if you don't know who He-Man is, he is the master of the universe. So, there you go. You going to argue with him? I wouldn't, because he's got the power of Grayskull.
Yeah, Skeletor. He's like the train tea maker. That's He-Man's enemy. If you don't know, he balances the tea bag unmoistened on top of the lid.
Oh, yeah. In a way, I don't really mind when they do that.
Really?
They're sort of going like, you look like you know more about making a cup of tea than me. Have at it.
I think it's
Thanks
laziness.
very much, I will.
I think it's tardiness.
It could
Sloppy.
be a time-saving exercise.
Yeah, I don't care for it.
I admire the efficiency.
Anyway, City 2-2.
Now, listen, we could just talk about tea and He-Man for the whole episode, because do we need to do this podcast? Because you can just listen to last week's and then just pretend it was about this.
When we talk about the bit where we're like, we hope this doesn't happen next week, you'll already know in your mind it has happened.
Yeah.
It's literally, what's that thing?
Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day. That's exactly.
Deja vu.
We're so good. We're so telepathic these days.
Well, we've worked on it. We're coming towards the 100th episode.
We are, and we're planning a big party. 2-2, really disappointing. 1-0 up, 1-1, 2-1 up, 2-2.
Yep. We played some good football. We played some good football at times, I thought. Not quite in keeping with that sound. I thought we did some good bits. But we let ourselves down.
Yeah, we really did.
Now, it looked like on the face of it that it was about that the defence just got kind of left for dust a couple of times with their goals. I know we're not going in order here, but I think there's a bit more to it than that. We didn't have quite enough bite in midfield. Our old mate Jake Taylor,
who had come dressed in his early Halloween disguise of Dr. Evil, I noticed.
Yeah. Good to be ahead of the game.
Yep.
Yeah, he just did Jake Taylor things, didn't he? All game.
He did, and we did not.
We didn't actually, no. I mean, I think the commentator said at the end of the match, could we have done with someone like Jake Taylor? And I think that's not probably too far from the truth in that situation. Just someone to win those second balls that we weren't getting at all. It puts the defence under pressure. I'm not saying it's all the midfield's fault or all the defence's fault, but you've got to give each other a chance.
And you know what? We did what we do. This sounds stupid. Forgive me, listeners, but we did what we do well. So Nombe.
Yeah, that's what I mean about playing some nice football.
Yeah,
There's some good combinations with them, all those the forward boys and whatnot.
He's so good in Nombe at being strong in attack, ball at his feet or coming to him, strong, already anticipates where the defender's going to put pressure on him.
Yeah.
So his first goal was excellent.
He's been exactly what we hoped he would be, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has.
Since he started scoring, he just can't stop.
No.
And I love that kind of player, breaking the lines, using his strength, good finisher. Great finish for that first one. Great strength. Exactly what you want from him. And being picked out by the pass as well.
George Ray pass.
George Ray, channel ball, yeah.
Very nice. But perfect. And then, of course, we conceded. Just kind of exactly like you said, weak in midfield, puts the defence under pressure. They're either outnumbered or they're, not in the places they could be.
Yeah. Jake Taylor sort of starts that whole goal, actually. Sort of just gets it in midfield from the defence, puts his foot on it, plays quick forward pass to a guy, and then they're off. And then he slots the fella through, and our defence just split wide open. But like I said, it's sort of the horse had already bolted by the time it got there. I think not the defence couldn't have. There was three of them. They probably could have picked up, but I don't know what happened there really.
Indeed. So that took us 1-1 at half time. And then just like the week before, exactly like Dan said, We scored early on second half. This time didn't need the penalty. Oh, I know we missed a penalty, but our first opportunity was a brilliant Josh Key ball in. And Matt Jay...
nice little bit, nicely worked goal before that as well, do you mean? Like out to Key, good ball in, yeah.
And then Jay, I'm going to say rolling back the years. That's not what I mean at all. He was like rolling back the height difference chart.
The old saying goes.
The old saying goes.
It reminded me of when Messi scored that header in the Champions League final.
Yeah.
In as much as it was a small guy scoring a header, and in no other way.
Good header.
It didn't need to be. It was fine, but the goalkeeper just punched it straight in, didn't he? Like he did. You'd be so annoyed.
I'm putting that down to Matt Jay doing a good header.
Goalkeeping you've ever seen. Shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was 5 minutes into the second half, and I thought, oh, thank goodness, we've learnt our lesson. Matt Taylor's given him an absolute earful.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that again. No way are we. And then there were a few more chances, weren't it? Was it Dieng hit the post?
Dieng, that was a great one. He had put Jake Taylor on his arse, and another guy who looks a bit like Jake Taylor. But
maybe that was the real Dr. Evil.
If you bick your head, then you're going to look like other big heads, aren't you?
Oh, I'm really excited about this season. Oh, yeah, who have you got playing? Well, we've got a great midfield lineup. Dr. Evil and Jeff Bezos. Yeah. Formidable.
I think the other guy's in defence. But yeah.
Well.
Yeah, so, and then Dieng just like hits the post. It's a shame, really, because he's kind of been in a good bit of goal-scoring form too. And that would have been it then, you like to think. But then again, who knows with our...
Should have been it, shouldn't it? Anyway, 2-1 up, and then... Again, I don't want to... it's just like, how are we getting overwhelmed? We're winning. We're away from home. Another factor in this. Just learn our lessons, lad. You've watched Jake Taylor. Some of those midfielders have watched Jake Taylor play a lot of football.
Yeah. So the thing, Archie Collins back in the starting lineup. That's the only change.
Nice to see.
We expected, after Matt Taylor basically said he was going to change the system. However, he didn't. No. And it seemed to be working very early on, didn't it? We were all over them. But like you said, like I said before, we're just kind of like, if you can't outmuscle the midfielders, you need to outnumber them, I think. You know what I mean? And we weren't doing that. And yeah, we paid for that, didn't we? You know?
Yeah.
Archie Collins, I think I was going to say, he hasn't had a season yet where he didn't play alongside Jake Taylor every single game. Yeah. Pretty much, they both played every game, and it's interesting to see. We're just because he's just come back now, how he'll kind of do without him, basically, because. I mean, Jake Taylor did a lot more of the kind of physical work, didn't he? He covered more ground, I imagine, than Archie Collins. I ain't got the stats, but I think it felt like he did. And he was sort of like, but now he's got to do that. And then Dieng's that similar kind of player, but he's not quite the kind of frantic kind of presence that Jake Taylor is, who's kind of like just wills himself into every single challenge.
Yeah. Know? And also, Dieng definitely plays 5 yards further up, doesn't he? Like, hence why he's getting the goals, which is great.
Yeah, but he needs to be kind of everywhere. I mean, that box-to-box kind of thing, and that's good. I think Dieng looks decent at that, but I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think it's just Taylor was just kind of like, he's just a very driven guy, isn't he? I mean, I think that suits that position well.
Yeah, I think that's right. And Nige has some of that about him. But he's not got the legs.
No. Well, exactly, yeah. I would have maybe liked to see Nigel earlier on, or even, if we were going to kind of...
Well, given the mess we've made of all this stuff, you're almost thinking at 50... We score on 50 minutes, I think. You're almost thinking, defend... like we've always said this about Exeter City for years and years and years. We've watched other teams do it. You want the Stevenage to think as soon as we get behind here, we're not getting back into it.
Yeah, because that's what we think about every team we
Northampton, and I can't even remember them all now. But we've had years of these opponents.
Yeah,
and we should think, all right, 50 minutes. All right, we've set this thing up so that we've got Brown, Jay, Nombe, wing backs. But now we think they are not getting they're not getting anything, not getting a sniff. And what do we need to do to make that happen? And maybe it's 4 across the centre. And 4 across the back, and just you shall not pass. And yeah, that's boring for Nombe, and yeah, that's hard for Brown or Jay.
Yeah.
But
flood the midfield, and someone's got to come off maybe as well.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
and do a lot of that annoying stuff.
I like
we
the fact
hate.
that we've kind of always stick to this kind of, at least the idea that we're kind of footballing side. I mean, but we're kind of not in the way that we used to be. I mean, we still play some nice bits like stuff, but we're trying to be kind of a bit of everything, aren't we? And like, yeah, you just need to shut up. I mean, we're gonna have to learn from that now. When we get ahead, especially if you go ahead, like you said, of 50 odd minutes or something, shut up shop and just make it impossible for them. Like. And if you can't do that in the system you're in, just change it. You know.
Yeah.
Because we seem to be the changes we've made in recent weeks seem to be to kind of, they're not kind of strengthening change. They're kind of attacking change, aren't they, to try and win a game.
Yeah.
Whereas we've been in a couple of positions now where we need to kind of like change, maybe hold on to a game. I mean, I don't know though. I mean, we've had a lot of clean sheets this season. You know. Suddenly, the last couple of games started just leaking kind of silly goals, so you don't really know where to go with it, but.
But Stevenage are not good enough to.
I wasn't impressed with them at all.
No.
Like, especially first half, you kind of think, and they shouldn't have got. I mean, this though, that second goal, was it offside?
Well, that's the other question, isn't it? Like, people who were there say it was definitely offside.
Right.
I mean, hard to see, isn't it?
It's impossible to see in the replay because the cameraman doesn't keep up with the pass.
Yeah, helpful.
Like, by the time he's moved the camera around, it's too late. And then I think I saw one screenshot where it's like, looks like he's maybe is offside, but maybe only just. In which case you can maybe, I mean, I'll forgive those ones. It's only the glaring ones I'd be annoyed about, but
it's just a kind of general attitude of like, no, it's not happening. Like, and that's what Jake Taylor was really good for.
Yeah, and I don't think we can complain because they also had they had a chance right at the end, didn't they, where they should have won. But
I mean, shouldn't have happened last week. Definitely shouldn't have happened this week. That now takes us to, is it 7 draws?
7 draws, yeah.
7 draws in
1
11
loss
games.
and 7 draws.
I mean, good not to lose many. Terrible to be drawing that many.
It is a bit, yeah. You're kind of leaving yourself. Well, I think we only had 14 or something in the whole season last year, draws.
I mean, this isn't going to amaze any mathematicians amongst you, but 7 draws is equivalent to 14 drop points, right?
Yeah.
I realise you can't turn every draw into a win, but
plenty of those we should have done. You expect when you're winning twice,
yeah,
in consecutive games against teams which, no disrespect to those teams, but if you're a club of ambitions to get promoted, you should be beating those teams because the chances are they're not going to be bothering the top end of the table at the end of the season. And
Dan, like sometimes weird things happen. So there've been games this season we'd be like, oh no, like we've started all wrong. They've really worked us out. We turn it round. But both of these games, 4 drop points, we were ahead twice.
Yeah,
that's 4 times we've been ahead.
It's frustrating because not just for me, but I really thought after last week, it was like kind of they had one of these kind of like brutally honest kind of post-match interviews. Matt Taylor, he's like really, really hinting at, I'm gonna have to. After he changed it and it kind of, seemed better that way, that he was going to change, and then he hasn't done, and exactly the same thing happened again. Yeah.
I mean, if we're honest, a couple of changes that seem very necessary now, and this sounds like a dig, and it's not, but Caprice is not a left-sided player. I think he's done remarkably well.
He actually had a really good, at points, had a really good game. He played some great work down that left-hand side, but yeah, it's just... it complicates things and it slows things down is the main thing. I mean, you get that, look at the goal we scored on the other side, a ball out to on-rushing Josh Key down that wing. He basically hits it, first time or second touch on his natural foot. And then and then Matt Jay's able to get free on the back post because it's all happens too fast. But Jake Caprice is as good as I thought he was. And I think he looks like it's got all League Two players has his faults, but he's definitely got some real strengths to his game, and but he can't. It's going to take time, isn't it? He's got to cut back in, by which time that just gives a defence to kind of pick everybody up, and it just slows everything down. Yeah,
and given that Colin Daniel, so good they named him twice, played well in the Cheltenham Papa John's game in the week. Surely that's one thing you've got to do.
Well, I think what you need really, if it's possible, is some sort of, amalgamation of the two players into one.
Oh, yeah.
Can we do this? Like maybe have they got a lab out at the Cat and Fiddle, whatever it's called? And we can sort of take some cells from Jake Caprice, take some cells from Colin Daniel, mix them about a bit in a petri dish.
Yeah.
I don't know what you do. Inject it into some sort of inanimate carbon and create Colin Caprice, the player that we need and deserve, I think.
That's all right. That's all well and good. But what happens to old Jake Daniel, the leftover parts?
Who knows what? I mean, I don't know. It'll be like one of the bad Alien sequels where Sigourney Weaver finds the room with all the kind of the versions of her clone that didn't quite work, and they all got extra limbs, and that's what I think Jake Daniel will look like. He'll sort of have two heads, or he didn't come out quite right. But Colin Caprice is going to be our player of the year.
Yeah, win some, lose some, I guess, in the world of genetics. So
spend the money on that and not on a scoreboard.
Let's really up the game here.
I'll bring that up at the next AGM, shall I?
Yeah.
Human
modifications.
Human kind of cloning. What do we think, lads? Anyone?
I mean, it'd be foolish not to, surely.
If you could clone any two players, Exeter City players, into one.
Good question.
Who would you do?
Ooh, Flack and Josh Key.
What's that giving you?
Very fast, large person.
Who can score goals.
Who can score goals and cross. Or
they've got the same sort of colour hair.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Ooh. Ever seen them in the same place twice?
No, I don't think I have.
Why would you?
I would.
They're decades apart.
I'd go for... I'd splice Ryan Harley.
Yeah.
And who worked really, really hard, tirelessly.
It could be Jake Taylor.
Yeah, I know that's too obvious.
Oh, yeah,
but
right.
Also, you're not getting
Danny
enough.
Seaborn.
Yeah, okay. I'd splice Seaborn and Harley together.
Yeah, nice. I mean, this would be the...
Or even Matt Taylor.
Yeah.
Matt Taylor and Ryan Harley spliced.
Yeah.
So you kind of got it's basically sort of, the great defensive kind of disciplined kind of sensible head.
Yeah.
But with all that Harley flair.
Yeah. All that
Ryan
testosterone.
Taylor. He didn't play like that.
No, he did not. Well, that's interesting. I just think we got to go back. We've got to think, because this is a modern invention, right? Or it's a current invention.
What, cloning?
Yeah. Right. But also wing backs.
Oh, right.
It's a real
Dolly the sheep was decades ago.
Yeah, that's true. Real vogue thing, isn't it? Of well, if we want to attack, we want Josh Key to be kind of maximised, wing backs. But it's not a foreign idea to have four at the back and have a marauding fullback who's covered by their opposite fullback and then comes back. As long as the communication between the winger, the fullback and the opposite fullback works, there's no reason why Josh Key can't get forward in a 4-4-2. And I know we do it.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying, but Josh Key can play midfield. He can play right midfield, yeah? But that just means sacrificing somebody else, possibly. Do you mean? Is there a way of doing this which doesn't... I think it's more that he doesn't want to leave people out. Do you mean? Matt J, Brown, can they both play in this system? Do you mean? I'm not sure they can. But maybe they can. Maybe there's a way. But you don't have to... I know, always have all your best players on the pitch, but you've got a squad for a reason, and we've not in the past been that good at utilising the squad.
No.
And I get
Taylor
that. I
hasn't.
do get the kind of keep the consistency of the same team, and that works. But when it's not working, or when there's problems where it's causing problems elsewhere, try something else.
Indeed. Well, that was Stevenage, so that leaves us in 10th. Which is a significant drop, but more on that in a second. Welcome back. Remember, you can get in touch with us in all the normal ways. We're on email, bigbankpod@gmail.com. We're on Facebook, the Big Bang Theory Podcast. And we're on Twitter as well, @BigBankPod. There were sadly no misdirected tweets complaining about human rights records that now have arrived at St James Park. Some of those available snacks from the refreshment shack in years gone by might be described as human rights violations, but these days we're clean.
Is Grecian the Lion wiping his arse on the goalkeeper's towel a human rights violation? Who are we to say?
We don't want to say, but it's the Saudis haven't come to Exeter, listeners. They've come to Newcastle, so that is not a topic for this podcast.
No, don't worry about it.
I mean, maybe do worry about it, but we're not going to worry about it in this chat.
Yeah.
So you can get in touch with us in all the normal ways, and you can leave us a review as well if you want to. 5 stars is fine. That's would be
5
great.
out of 5 as well, not 5 out of 10.
5 out of 5, please. And we always welcome constructive criticism and feedback.
Slight. Someone was commenting on the forum about Minehead. Apparently, I think I called Minehead a dump.
Yeah.
Apparently, Minehead's not a dump. I mean, I don't know. I'll just say I haven't been there, so I'm just saying it. I don't know. I thought it might be a dump, so I said it was one. I'm perfectly happy to be corrected on that. Now remember, I think there's isn't there a kind of castle nearby? My parents always go into like this castle or like something, and I love a castle. So if that's part of the surrounding areas, then I retract the dump comment.
I mean, it's almost the same word because it's Dunster Castle, of course.
Is that the one? Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Close to Minehead.
The seat of King Richard the 14th.
Yeah. Long live Richard the 14th.
No, we never got that far with Richards, did we?
Only one Richard.
Just the one, the Lionheart.
Yes. You don't want to come after him, do you? Who are you? Your father was Richard the Lionheart. Who are you?
I'm Richard the Beaver Brain.
Richard the genetic scientist. I tried to actually give myself a lion heart, but my body rejected it.
Yeah, well, again, more genetics chat. I don't know if there's any geneticists listening, but we've done quite a bit on that so far this week. It won't do that. It won't accept it. Different species.
Yeah, don't even try. Get blood everywhere.
Yeah, definitely don't try and do it on yourself.
No.
It's like I'm going to upgrade.
Although I really trust a geneticist who's like, I've done this to myself and I'm fine.
Well, then again, though, you remember that there was that CBBC program, Pig Heart Boy.
Not familiar with it.
No? Remember that?
No.
Pig Heart Boy.
Pig Heart Boy, no.
It was this kid, and he had like some sort of heart troubles,
right?
And he'd been given a pig's heart.
This was in the TV show?
Yeah, but it's also based on stuff that can happen in real life, I believe.
Right.
Can't you get a pig's heart? Isn't that a thing? I think you can.
Don't know.
Again, bigbankpod.com if you know the science behind 90s CBBC show Pig Heart Boy.
Yeah. I look forward to it. There was another one, wasn't there? Walrus Head Boy. See that one? Walrus Head Boy. That boy grew up to be Paul Tisdale.
Walrus Head?
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be a link onto a poor old Ryan Bowman.
Oh, no.
Talking about walrus heads and hearts.
No, I think Tisdale's got more of a walrus head.
Do you know what walrus looks like?
Yeah. Don't you? Shiny head.
No.
Yeah.
They haven't got a shiny head.
Walrus has got a shiny head.
A walrus?
Hasn't it?
Big hairy buggers.
What am I thinking of? A sea lion. A sea lion.
Yeah, he looks a bit more like a seal. Are you thinking of a seal?
A sea lion, that's a thing.
Yeah, sea lion. Tis doesn't look like a sea lion.
All right, show me.
That's a walrus.
Yeah.
I don't know like Tis.
Put a hat on him, that's Tisdale.
Well, he's got a moustache.
When he's clapping.
That's a seal. Let's not get into a debate about whether
I think we already have. I think it's too late.
Tisdale looks like a walrus, but he definitely doesn't.
He does. It looks a bit like a walrus.
They have got a little bit of a dome head, but like the main features are massive tusks and a moustache.
That's everyone always. Everyone always sees that. You got to look past the massive moustache and the tusk.
Looks way more like Bowman, if you ask me.
Anyway, Ryan Bowman's not been well, has he?
Yes, that's a horrible one. So he'd had
heart palpitations.
His heart's like going mad on the pitch, but it seems like he's feeling better. I mean, they'll have to do.
Did he collapse?
Test. No, I think he just kind of had
realised it was hurting.
Yeah, it was like hurting his chest and stuff. And he had to go off, obviously, and rushed into hospital.
I mean, that's a worry, isn't it?
It really is. I hope it's. I don't know anything about hearts clearly, based on some of the stuff we've already talked about.
Yeah.
But I hope he's all right. And if not, take a little comfort in a little fella called Pig Heart Boy. Although he wasn't a professional footballer, I remember that much.
I hope he's better. He's tweeted, hasn't he, and says he's feeling okay, and like thanks for the well wishes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because obviously Bowman's like super energetic.
Oh yeah, super fit guy, isn't he? Like.
Oh, it shows it's can happen to anyone, doesn't it? Same with old Ericsson in the summer, but yeah, all the best, Ryan. I don't suppose you're listening, but all the best to you. Sending good wishes.
I kind of hope he's not listening.
Into the vibe. Yeah, you just called him a walrus.
I do hope Tisdale's listening though. Hello, Paul.
Paul.
Hi, Daddy Paul.
Daddy Paul. I've never called him that before. No, this is related because remember last week I was getting some bad vibes off you for talking about Newport when we were a City podcast, but we got Newport this week, who are still managerless.
I'll now allow Newport discussion.
So Flynn left. I don't think he's gone anywhere, has he? I think it was by mutual.
Right, yeah.
So I don't know. Obviously, he's had enough, or
They haven't brought anyone in yet. We already talked about Stephen Wellwish, whatever his name is.
Definitely not his name.
Stephen Hatwell.
Yeah.
Not Stephen either.
Not Stephen either.
Something. They've got a guy in temporary charge, caretaker manager, we used to call that.
I mean, I think Tisdale, obviously, what we know about Paul Tisdale is he doesn't like to go far. Like, he's got a comfort zone, which is basically Wessex. Yeah. Newport is on the fringes of that.
It's commutable.
It's commutable, which seems to be one of his main concerns. But, I mean, that pitch, I'd imagine, is putting him off. If he's anywhere near either wanting it or being offered it.
Yeah, you never know, do you? I imagine he'll take another... I don't imagine he wants to kind of leave management, does he? But
he's at Colchester still, right?
I believe... I haven't looked him up for a while, but I think he's still there. And that sounds like a nice job, doesn't it?
He's still on
advisor.
A little thing called the internet.
He's going...
In YouTube.
Is he still doing that?
I don't know, actually. Let's hope not, because it was diabolical. But he hasn't gone to Newport yet. He probably won't, I'd imagine. Newport come to City... Yeah, without the manager at the minute.
Yeah.
They've got some old friends.
Yeah.
Friends of the show.
Alex Fisher, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I hope he plays.
He played on Saturday, came off the bench, which seems to be a thing that he does. Newport currently sit in 13th. They're only a point behind us. They're old adversaries, aren't they? I wouldn't expect... I know it's at City, but I wouldn't expect to have an easy game against them. They know what they're doing, even though Flynn's not there. They've taught him everything. Some of the other old associate, Robbie Wilmot's gone back and he's starting.
Yeah.
And they've also got, lots of names that we know from the past, but brother of celebrity on the bench, Timmy Abraham, brother of Tammy Abraham.
Yeah, has he not been playing then? Is he sort of a sub, is he?
He's sub a bit. I mean, because he's on loan from, I want to say Fulham. He's from one of the London clubs. I don't think he's Chelsea. I think he's Fulham.
Right.
Knowing our luck, he'll come on and get an absolute hatful. Seems to be the way of things at the minute. So Newport. I mean, Newport at home. We just got... I said this last week. It's the exact repetition of last week. But come on. We need some wins.
What I want to see... I want to see a different approach to this one. I'll be disappointed if it's just the same... And maybe it'll work, but I just mean as a kind of like... And there's no reason to suggest it won't. It has won us games. But I just think on the result, on the back of those last two identical performances, I just don't want to see us go out set exactly the same again. I just want to see I want to see us being proactive and going, and yes, Matt Taylor knows better than I do. That's well known. But I just think, just for the sake of kind of getting everyone right, okay, here we go. Here's Aurora Edwards starting, or something like that. I mean, I really want to see more of him. I thought he looked really like...
Well, unfortunately, Flew knocked him out, didn't he?
Yeah, I know, and I know he's supposed to... that's what we... he's not going to be a starter just yet, probably anyway, but I would like to see it given a go and giving him a bit more time on the pitch to kind of like... just affect the game a bit more, because I think he's definitely capable of doing that. And he looks exciting. That's the sort of thing I want to see that,
Yeah. Yeah, I know, I agree entirely. I mean, and
maybe Colin Caprice too, or,
Yeah, if we've done that yet. If we've spliced that up yet.
Won't take long.
I don't know. It's funny, Nick, because we've been going into the lead, and like we said, if you make the proactive changes after you've got the lead, but you're right. You need something different to give us something different, and to give the players something different.
I'm sure this is again same as last season. It was either we score loads of goals, but we also let loads in, or we cannot score any goals, but we don't let a single goal in. Do you mean that's just like, I don't know. It's just football, isn't it? But I want just someone in the middle for a bit. Do you know what I mean?
3 wins out of 11 is worrying.
It is a bit, yeah. And a lot of them, I don't think I'm that worried yet. Because a lot of those stuff at the beginning of the season, the team want, and
I know
like
Forest Green have hardly dropped any points. I get that.
Yeah, and it's a new team, and we've got to give people a chance to bed in and get to know each other. And I think it's, it's getting there.
And obviously, we don't want to be complete miserable idiots. We haven't lost in ages. We know that. We said that last week. But it's winning positions, isn't it? It's winning positions.
Yeah, we'd feel a lot different about these draws if we'd gone 1-0 down and then 2-1 down. We pulled it back,
Yeah.
But we do need to. Yeah, it would be nice, wouldn't it?
It'd be more than nice. It would be.
I hope Alex
vital.
Fisher doesn't score some long-range left foot wonder goal against us.
I would like to see him again, though. I do like his face. I'll never forget that game. Who was it? He came on and scored, and it relegated the other team.
Right.
Remember that? And in his post-match interview, the realisation hit him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was awful.
Out of all the 3 of those kind of man bun lads.
Yeah, Taylor,
Kyle
Jay.
Taylor, Matt Jay. I mean, obviously, Matt Jay's got I've got a lot more affection for Matt Jay, really, being a kind of academy guy and still playing for City.
Yeah.
But just on a face basis, I think I'd choose Fisher.
Lovely face.
Very nice face. Not that Matt Jay hasn't. Nice face too. Just not as nice. To mine eye.
Yeah.
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
That's what they say. And surely it's true.
Well, I can tell you it is. Yeah.
Poor old Jake Daniel.
I would like to.
No one thinks he's beautiful.
No, poor old Jake Daniel. Yeah, I would, if I could, I would chop off each of their man buns off the back of their head with a big pair of secateurs.
Yeah.
And I'd be doing them a favour.
Yeah. They just have I don't want to sound like my granddad, but just have a proper haircut.
I don't care about someone having long hair or doing
It's the man bun.
doing mad stuff with your hair or whatever. It's just like, I mean, it was a thing.
It's just nothing, isn't it?
I think we've moved. Bun. I think it's a bit kind of just old-fashioned now, and a bit like have to get someone else. Didn't look good. Doesn't look good. Never did. Get rid of it. Even have a kind of ponytail if you want, Randall Williams style. I'd prefer that. Very 80s.
There's not many people going around with a ponytail, is there? Williams is still.
Well, as far as we know, what's he been up to?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, it's. I don't know.
Week off, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, like everyone. I don't know what Matt Jay would look like with long hair. Like hanging low.
It'd look funny.
It would look funny.
That's what it'd look like.
Yeah.
Joel Randall's there.
Oh yeah, he was, wasn't he? At Stevenage.
Yeah.
Loving it.
Could have come on, couldn't he?
He would have done us
a day's loan.
Could like you do in lower league football? You say no, that's not Joel Randall. That's Colin Daniel.
He's injured, isn't he? Anyway.
Joel Randall.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he couldn't have come on. Doesn't happen, does it? It happens in the lower leagues. You just pretend, give someone else a different name. I've played under many a name.
Why? Because you're not technically
registered, but your uncle's team needs someone.
Yeah. It's probably for the best. That's not going on at professional level.
I think you'd notice, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would. Hang on a minute. This is.
Wait a minute. That's not Randall Williams. That's Alex Fisher up the wing.
George Weah.
George, will you do it for a pie and a pint? Yeah, all right.
He's too busy. Isn't he like the president of Liberia?
I believe he is, yeah.
Is it Liberia?
If a City player became a president, a politician, who's most likely to become a politician out of all our current squad?
Don't know.
I tell you who I'd vote for.
Yeah.
Sam Nombe.
Yeah, Nombe's got the charisma, hasn't he?
Nombe for president.
This day and age.
It's what you need. He'd get voted in no time. He'd say, I can't wait until the people of Exeter and I can celebrate on the streets for my election victory. And then he'd say, I've just been waiting my whole life to celebrate from the Guildhall window.
And he'd do a big knee slide.
And then he'd do a big knee slide and do loads of selfies with people and everyone would love it. See you later, Ben Bradshaw. We voted for Sam Nombe. What party is he in? Dunno.
I would vote for Nige.
Would you do a
Yeah.
job?
Nige.
Serious.
Serious, but sort of got a proper kind of glint in his eye.
Yeah.
Laid back, cool,
Yeah.
intelligent guy,
Yeah.
trustworthy.
Yeah.
I would trust. If you had to ask someone to watch your bike while he pops into the shop,
You choose Nige.
I would choose Nige. He would, he would do a great job of that. And I
tell
think that
you-
translates into politics.
I tell you, I wouldn't let watch my bike. Archie Collins. I don't think he'd notice. I think he'd
No, yeah, I think he'd sort of start texting someone and then, I didn't realise it's gone.
be.
Sorry.
Exactly what would
mate.
happen. Archie, that was my favourite bike. How am I going to get home now? I'll give you a lift. All right.
Right, fine. I'm choosing what music we're playing.
Archie Collins. I mean, Joel Randall's gone now, so we can no longer ascribe the worst music taste in the squad to him. It's definitely Archie Collins second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be letting him. I know he's out on loan. Seymour.
No,
I'm not letting them anywhere near that Orcs lead.
no, the Bluetooth.
Or the Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No chance.
Um,
He'd put on like something that was meant as a comedy song that he thought was actually a banger.
right. Yeah.
Crazy Frog, Mr. Blobby.
Mambo number 5.
Yeah, Mambo. That's exactly what he'd put on.
I reckon Hartridge would probably choose some good tunes.
Hartridge likes his dad's Black Sabbath tapes.
Yeah, but also kind of that kind of thing. I reckon probably Kyle Taylor likes a bit of Kasabian.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
So we don't want that either.
we're really limiting it, aren't we? I think Cameron Dawson's probably got. I'm putting this all down to him being from Sheffield, but he's probably got some likes Pulp and Arctic Monkeys. Yeah,
Maybe.
And
Giovanni Brown.
Human League.
I'd trust Giovanni Brown with it. I think he'd probably put some good stuff on.
He didn't respond to your question on Twitter though, did he?
Well, he definitely doesn't like Soulfly.
But he did mention Soulfly. I don't know what that is.
He's mentioned some album or something, and I thought it was. I was like, oh, maybe it's this. They kind of
Max from Sepultura's Soulfly.
Yeah.
Notorious thrash metalers, Sepultura from Brazil.
He didn't reply.
Didn't reply, so he's not into that.
Never mind.
Well, anyway, there's something to think about. Matt Taylor, though, of course, would prefer Radio 4 because it's informative.
Well, you say that, but I did want to see Matt Taylor, and speak to Matt Taylor at a gig.
Yeah.
And that gig was, by the way, I just want to clarify that I went for free and I wouldn't have paid.
Yep.
Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds, who were rubbish.
Were they?
Yeah, dreadful.
Low hanging fruit, as you'd been called. Yeah, well, anyway, there we are. More of this hot topic next week,
Charlatan
I'm sure.
supported, though, and they were good, mind.
Charlatan supported?
Yeah.
That's a travesty. If you've got any more insights, because, of course, Piers Sweeney and Jake Taylor once tried to flog their Craig David tickets for cheap. If you've got any more inside info on music tastes of City squads, past or present, let us know.
Yeah, go on.
Be interested. Because like Stuart Pearce loves the Sex Pistols, doesn't he? Loves the Stranglers.
Yeah, that's the only thing. That's the only music football fact anyone knows, though, isn't it?
Basically.
Stuart Pearce likes the Pistols, but
It's important.
and Pat Nevin likes
Indie
indie
music, which he calls indie music at every opportunity. But there must be some like, signed up fans of bands in football teams.
I want to hear about it.
Let us know.
But I only really want to hear about ex players.
I've also got something to tell you before the time is up. I'm going to St James Park this Sunday, and you think you got the wrong day, pal. Exeter City women are playing at St James Park this
Are
Sunday
they?
against Argyle. Yeah,
Finally.
me and my daughter are going. We've got tickets.
Playing at in Exeter for once.
Yeah. Well, they've been playing recently. They've been playing in the Exwick at the college sports fields.
Oh, have they? Can you go?
You can go. So there's no seating.
Yeah,
So you stood up around the edge, which obviously
3G, isn't it, that one?
believe it is.
Okay, well that's great. They're playing at St James Park. I mean, I'll probably go as well. I mean, do I have to go? Do I have to have a daughter?
No.
Presumably not.
No. It's all sitting. We're all sitting in the
I'll sit. I don't mind.
I know you will.
I go to all those youth
thingies.
team games and that.
So it's that stands open. But I heard someone said they sold a lot of tickets already, so that's really good. So maybe they'll open up more if necessary.
Yeah, I hope so. That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, really good. So it's fun.
So
I think
that's
it's
St James Park 2 days in a row.
yeah, I know.
What a treat.
What about that? I'll leave my coat there.
Yeah.
Pick this up tomorrow. Yeah, so I think
Can I
it's
leave
£5.
some stuff in your fridge?
Yeah, so that'll be good. So we can report back on that. I think it's a cup game, FA Cup.
Well, we've got to beat them anyway, so.
Got to beat
so.
those dirty greens.
Yeah.
So that's that. Thanks for listening, as always. Anything else to add, Dan?
No.
Well, see you next week. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Cheers.
See you soon.